Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. Today I'm going to be bringing you another weekly VHS rewind. And come here. You come here. Come here. You're sitting there all looking like you want to help. And then I pick you up and you don't want any part of it. No parts. Anywho, this week's weekly VHS rewind, I usually save this movie for when I can't think of what it is I want to watch. I had a movie on the docket, and it's just not rubbing me the right way. I feel like I'm going to be forcing the view, and I don't want to just force watching a movie. There's just about nothing that takes me out of a movie more than it just not feeling like the right time to watch that particular movie. That being said, this one and one other film, which I thought I had on VHS, and I probably just overlooked it, but this is the one that came to mind also because I'm supposed to be getting a package in the mail tomorrow for a t-shirt relating to this film. But this week's movie is going to be the one and only Lost Boys. This is my old copy back from, I think I got this from Kmart back in the day. This is my copy of that. And I always watch this movie whenever I can't find something else to put on. If it's not this, it's usually like The Silence of the Lambs, between one of those two films. But I'm supposed to be getting a t-shirt in the mail tomorrow for this, if, tracking is anything. The mail truck could get a flat tire and get delayed a day, but ideally it's supposed to be here tomorrow, and so I'm excited. And I haven't watched my VHS copy of this in quite some time, so I am very excited to do this. And again, I couldn't think of what movie to watch, and so I always, this and The Silence of the Lambs are my two go-tos. And, this one's just one's feeling it. So I'm going to go in for this one. So, as always, let's get into this movie. Put the case right over here. And then let's slip this bad boy into the VCR. I think the label's kind of, it's not coming off, but it's not centered, so I think there's a little bit of an air bubble right here. But let's go ahead and put this bad boy in and get started. And for this particular screening, I usually go with a nice, some sort of craft soda, but I decided to go with a little bit of blood. So I'm gonna partake in this wonderful bouquet of goodness while watching this flick. So at some point in time, it shall start, and we will get it going. It looks like instead of counting up in time on the VCR, it is counting down. So although that number doesn't look about right, so but we'll go ahead and get into this movie, and I will see you afterward for the rewind and to talk about it. So stick around, and I'll see you then. Bye. All right, everybody, I am back. The movie has just ended, so let's hit that stop button, and then we can rewind for Truth, Justice, and the American Way. So let's get going on with the Lost Boys. We're going to do a rewind right now, and let's talk about this. I love this movie. So let's go. So we got a few folks, a family that just moved to Santa Carla with their grandfather. Moved in with their grandfather, and you start to find out it's the murder capital of the world, and there's some local vampires. So Michael, this fella right here, ends up joining up and befriending some of the vampires only because he has a certain interest in one local beauty who is also a, half vampire. he gets sort of drawn into this world, and then you find out that there's a few more folk that aren't what they seem. So it's a nice hidden story within this community. I really don't know what to say about this movie without like ruining it for everyone out there. It's a lot of fun. Edward Herrmann plays a character in this film. Most of you either know him from this, or I think he was in the Gilmore Girls. Those are the two things that I can remember him in, primarily. But essentially, you got they're trying to take down the lead vampire to kind of turn everything back to normal. A lot of fun with this movie. I definitely say check it out if you haven't already. I recommend it to everyone. I've probably seen it at least, I would say this year, 30 times. It's one of those movies when I can't, like the rewind stops, I'm not going to talk anymore about the movie directly, but it's one of those movies that whenever I can't think of anything to watch, chances are it's either this or The Silence of the Lambs. So I feel like you can't go wrong with either one of these films, and it's just a lot of, it's a lot of fun. It's, it's a good happy movie, happy ending, fun ending, that's for sure. But yeah, lots of fun. What I think is great is Kiefer Sutherland. My dad's a huge fan of 24. I'm a pretty big fan of this. I can't say I'm the biggest The Lost Boys buff, but I am definitely a big fan. So I think that's funny that, my dad and I have Kiefer Sutherland and, connection there. We don't have much in common, but we have him in one way, shape, or form. So definitely a lot of fun. If you haven't seen this, check it out. Man, I cannot talk enough about, I wish the rewind would have gone longer so I could have given this an honest review, but I get kind of caught up in the rewind and then I lose myself. So I don't, my battery died, it's going to die. Let's go into low battery mode, and there we go. Now I can see my screen again, but lots of fun. Man, if you haven't seen this movie, do it. I remember the very first time I saw this movie, it was the summer of 2003. I bought it on DVD before I bought it on VHS. I had lent my DVD away to somebody, and I had found it on VHS at Kmart. Super cheap. I think it was $5 or something like that. At the time, it was super cheap. But, because I think the average VHS was hitting around $10. But yeah, I was still picking up VHS at that time. I'd lent my copy of The Lost Boys to a friend and never got it back. And I remember I was at Kmart and I saw it on VHS cheap, and I was like, I'll just pick it up on VHS. I still have a VCR. It was still common at that time, so no big deal. But this is the copy I picked up from Kmart, and I love this movie. I like so many movies that I've been introduced to in my life, and this definitely being one of them that has stuck with me for a very long time. Again, I can't really, I was texting my buddy during the movie, and he was just like, you've watched this movie 100 times this month, you're gonna get burnt out on it. And I'm like, maybe, but it's a lot of fun. I haven't watched the VHS in a long time, and it definitely takes me back. I love this movie. It's a lot of fun. I had an apartment, and I want to find a place for it here, but I had over my TV at one point in time these small mini movie posters, so I could have several of them above my TV. And I remember I had The Lost Boys as one of them. I had Pet Sematary and Scream, and there was another one that I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh man, Gremlins. I think it was Gremlins. But yeah, love these movies. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and eject it. I hope everyone out there is doing well. I always try to make sure of that, or at least mention it. And thank you for stopping by. As always, be good to one another, and I will see you next time. Bye.